Good morning, Saints. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd. I'm Audrey.
And I'm Rosie.
And today we will be enjoying an even day. Every year on April 20th, National Take a Chance Day encourages us to break free out of our comfort zone.
And happy birthday today to Grady Huber, Josie Tyner, Louis Ornelas, and my sister, Francia! Woohoo! The saint of the day today is St. George. Audrey, tell us about him.
He is the patron saint of England and known for the legend of him slaying the dragon. Check out the Hallway TVs for more information.
The Bible verse of the day is from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control.
On the menu today in the Saints Cafe, pasta, bake, and Boscos. And now for our daily announcements for this warm Wednesday.
Seniors! The senior survey in Naviance is required. It is not an option. You must fill this out for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, so we know what college to send your final completed transcript to. Check your email for more details.
It should be completed by April 26th, which is this Saturday. But don't delay, don't procrastinate, don't put it off. Get it done. National Letter of Intent news for Student Life Office. If you are a senior athlete signing to play college athletics and would like to be recognized in our signing ceremony on April 30th, please come by the Student Life Office by Friday the 25th to get your name, school, and sport on the list. The signing ceremony is Wednesday, April 30th at 3:15.
Are you free this Sunday? Looking for something fun to do with your friends? You can still sign up for the Rosemary Maher Saints Walk for Life. It is this Sunday, April 27th, starting at 1 p.m. in the STA gym with a rally and prayer, as well as ending at Olathe Pregnancy Clinic around 3 or 4 p.m. There will be a delicious hot dog lunch and then a relaxing ride back to STA. Students can earn 4 corporal service hours for this year or next year and enjoy a day outside with friends. So let's help women and families in crisis situations have and care for their babies.
Sign up on stasaints.net/walkforlife or get a paper from room 124 or 216 for your theology teacher. Thank you for considering. The forensic team has been forensicing at Blue Valley. James Arkell was the 6th in congressional debate, and Eli Carter was the 4th in original oration.
Woo!
At the NSDA district qualifier, Michael Kamani came from 6 points back to win the final round in program of oral interpretation. He will represent STA at the national tournament in Iowa this June.
That is incredible. Now let's switch gears.
For a special announcement, a heads up that a piece of American history will speak to our students and staff after the all-school mass on April 29th. Richard Phillips, a native of Detroit, is a friend of Mr. Brown and one of the longest-serving exonerees in U.S. history. In other words, he served 46 years in prison for a crime he didn't even commit. That's the equivalent of you going to prison in 2025 and not being released until 2071.
Whew, I cannot even imagine. Richard visited Aquinas last September, spoke to one of Mr. Brown's Faith and Reason classes, met some students and staff, and attended the Knights football game. He texted Mr. Brown a few days after his visit, saying that he was so impressed with our Aquinas community, how everyone welcomed him and was interested in his story, that he donated $100,000 late last year to our school to set up a scholarship. So, the Richard Phillips Pursuit of Knowledge Scholarship now exists. And again, Mr. Phillips will travel from Detroit to spend some time with us on April 29th and speak briefly to us about the importance of education, perseverance, and pursuing knowledge to serve others good. Thank you.
And now let's introduce next year's execs.
Hello, I'm Hank Gassel.
And I'm Thomas Kennefaith.
On Monday, the preliminary competitions took place. We have winners for baking, Mario Kart, Just Dance, pickleball, and ping pong. Seniors did quite well, and freshmen are playing the spoiler, worrying the sophomores.
Now the juniors, they have a chance to make history.
Yes, they do, Thomas. Dodgeball, spikeball, and volleyball finals are Thursday during the assembly, along with several other classic Spring Olympic games. Slash limbo, chariot race, table surfing, musical chairs, and orange chin.
Here's the Spring Olympic standings after the prelims. The seniors have 27 points. The
Juniors, 21 points.
sophomores with 12.
Freshmen, 15 points.
God, the sophomores, man.
Ah,
Can't
they're-
seem to get it.
Continue their streak of losing this year.
Now, there's a lot at stake, so here's what you need to know. The Spring Olympics are the final class competition of the year. The Softs are in a bit of a hole after the prelims and need to get third place or better to get their day off.
The juniors and seniors are currently tied in overall class competition points with 35. This means that it's all or nothing for the seniors, who must win the Spring Olympics to get their day off and win Class of the Year. Mind you that if you win Class of the Year, you do get an extra waiver.
That is true. Now, we are hearing that several teams from each class need to secure additional players for some events before Thursday. See your class officers to find out how you can help. Thursday is going to be awesome.
Now here's a video from Father Cullum.
Morning, Saints. So, as I'm sure you've heard, Pope Francis passed away in the early morning hours of Monday after Easter. And so we just wanted to let you guys know sort of what's going on and maybe give you some tips on how to pray for the repose of his soul. So there's some interesting little details about when a pope passes away. When he is presumed dead, one of the cardinals in the room calls out his birth name 3 times. So he would have said Jorge 3 times. If he does not respond, then it's sort of a confirmation that he has passed away. They then remove his ring, his special ring, which identifies him as the Pope, and they break it to symbolize that his reign has ended. And there's also a special seal that the Pope attaches to all of his documents, which is broken as well. And so after the Pope passes, we enter into this special state, this period called either the interregnum, which means between reigns, or the sede vacante, which means the seat is empty. And we're in a really unique situation because we have 2 of those at the moment. So we don't have a bishop. We're in the interregnum of our bishop, and then we're also in the interregnum of the Holy Father. So we enter into these days of mourning. They're called the Novem Diales, which is Latin for 9 days. So there's a traditional 9 days of mourning for the Holy Father, during typically which a Mass would be offered every single day for the repose of his soul. But the unique thing is that we're in Easter week, so Easter actually trumps the Holy Father's death. So each church is allowed to say 1 Mass for the repose of the Holy Father's soul. Another interesting detail is, rather than wearing white or black for these Masses, you actually wear red, because Pope Francis and many of the early popes, or not Pope Francis, Peter being the first pope, and many of the first popes were martyrs, so we symbolize that with the blood red vestments. So after we have finished the mourning, then we start what's known as the conclave, right, which is all the cardinals gather in Rome. Only those who are under 80 are able to vote. They get 33 tries, so they vote. You have to get a 2/3 majority. If they don't get it after 33 tries, then they have like a runoff between the top 2 candidates. But after a pope has been elected, right, they burn the ballots after each vote. If the black smoke appears, that means there's no pope. But if the white smoke appears, that means that a new Holy Father has been elected. He then has to accept it, chooses his new name, and then they take him off to what is known as the Chapel of Tears, which is where he just cries because no one wants to be pope. It's a huge responsibility. And so he's given some quiet time with our Lord to accept, this new appointment. Then, of course, there's the balcony entrance where the cardinal deacon of the Vatican announces Habemus Papam, which is Latin for we have a pope, and then he walks out and it's his first introduction as the new Holy Father. So from our perspective here, just simply pray for the repose of his soul. Again, the tradition of saying an Our Father, a Hail Mary, and a Glory Be is a praiseworthy practice. Also praying the Rosary for the repose of his soul, or just going to spend time in adoration before our Lord. To thank the Lord for all the great things that the Holy Father has done, and to pray that a holy successor may be elected here in the coming days. So just wanted to give you guys all a heads up on what's on the docket coming up, and just please pray for the repose of the soul of our Holy Father.
Signing off, I'm Hank Gassel.
I'm Thomas Kennefaint.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Rosie!
Remember, stay classy, saints, and
Pass it on!